But,
Yeah.
like, before bed, at night time, I would have a shower and then I wouldn't dry my skin properly. So it would take me an extra half an hour to get ready to go to bed because I have to put the cortisone cream on and then the moisturiser, and then I'd have to put, like, wet wraps on, and then I'd have to, like, take the wet wraps back off because obviously I couldn't go to sleep with them on, or I'd have to cover them up with something else. So probably an extra half an hour on top of a normal bedtime to get me ready to go to bed. Yeah.
And what about sleeping? Did it, when you were having troubles with your eczema, did it affect your sleep and how well you could function the next day?
Yep, definitely. I got prescribed Valium, so I could sleep at night. Yep. Okay. Just so I could sleep without itching. Had to wear gloves to bed as well.
Yeah.
So those cotton gloves, so I'd wear them to bed, and once I was in bed, I would then take a Valium, and that would probably take 15, 20 minutes to, like, kick in, and then I'd get a good night's sleep.
Oh, okay. Do you think eczema has affected personal relationships with your partner or family and friends?
I don't think so. I don't think it's affected any of those. I mean, I'm the same person, so I suppose it's affected small portions of it, but nothing significant.
Okay, that's good. All right, well, now we've spoken a bit about treatment, and now we'll talk about support and care. Can you describe the type of support and care you've received since you were diagnosed with eczema? And that might be care or support in the form of friends, family, charities, patient groups, or healthcare workers.
So the only support I suppose I've had is from my family. I haven't had anyone else come to help me at all in regards to that. So when I was really sick, my mum obviously looked after me, and when I was in the hospital, so staff there, not that I can remember. But yeah, my mum used to like obviously wrap me in cotton wool, as to say, when I was out of hospital. And then apart from that, it was just supporting yourself in the fact that you need to make sure that you eat the right foods and stay away from like dogs and cats, and wash your hands because they'll cause a reaction on your skin and your eyes will puff up. So yeah.
Okay. In relation to eczema, what would you most like to see from new treatment?
More follow-up with the people and alternative treatments instead of just putting them all into the one section. Oh, it's eczema, you need to try this. I think ultimately the eczema specialist should have like a broader knowledge of naturopathy and probably nutritionalist, and it shouldn't just be get down to a medication or a cream type of answer for it. So like you said before, try and find out what the cause of the eczema is instead of just treating the symptoms. Obviously that, is beneficial for everyone's life.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of medication, I mean, as you said, that really the only options are the cortisone or the steroids. And do you think there's anything that could be focused on to improve those medications or to deal with some of the side effects of eczema? Or the side effects of the original medications like cortisone and steroids?
I suppose they should be the last resort, not the first resort.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that when the child is like got cracked skin and it's weeping and they're in pain, it's probably going to need something to clear that up. But then that can't be the end answer for it. Like, they do need to have that follow-up. Like, this medication that I'm giving you, obviously can't be put on the child and then they're allowed to go out in the sun. Like all those follow-ups, and that adult or that parent needs to, I think they need to understand, they need to be able to say it back to the doctor, yep, no worries, I understand the kid needs to be kept inside. So I don't think there's enough, I think the doctor doesn't say enough to the parents, and then the chemist is left to do that. And I don't think people actually believe the chemist as much as they should. I mean, they dispense the medication, and George agrees to get that information on that product that they're giving you. That's why they ask you so many questions. And just because the doctor doesn't tell you doesn't mean it's not true. So I think that could definitely be improved. But also I think, you know, that option should be there. Like, we can give you this, which is probably going to clear it up, but it's not going to fix the cause of it. Yeah. Instead of just saying, put this on, it'll fix it.
Yeah. Okay.
But that answers the question.
In relation to eczema, what would you most like to see from information? Are there any topics that haven't been covered that you'd like to see made available, or perhaps the format or how information is presented?
I think there should definitely be some more information on the fact that everyone's eczema is different, and you obviously can't fit into the same area, and that everyone's just the same as if you've got asthma, you've got an action plan. I think each individual needs to be able to have an action plan for their eczema. Like, obviously before the eczema gets really bad and it gets cracked and it's wheezing or it's bleeding or you've got that skin, there was things that happened prior to it getting that bad that people failed to notice. So I think there needs to be some sort of okay, if you start feeling this on your skin, or if you start seeing this is the action you need to take straight away so it doesn't get to this point. Yeah. So there needs to be some sort of an action plan or something. I think more information to say, to hopefully there can be some sort of an eczema specialist on the track somewhere. That you can just possibly go to a website and go, this is happening to my skin, what can it be? Yeah. So the information's out there. Yeah. Because it is hard to find. Like, you can Google lots of stuff and there is lots of information out there, but I think it tries to pigeonhole every person with eczema into a same box, and I don't think you can. Yeah. Okay. Yep. In relation to eczema, is there anything you would like changed in the way health professionals communicate with patients? Definitely. Like they obviously should try and get to the root cause of their eczema instead of just fixing like the symptoms on top of it. And also asking them if they want to seek alternative treatment. Yeah. Like, obviously the medication they're going to provide is not going to fix it. Yeah. But there is other things that you can do yourself, whether or not, I suppose it depends on how keen the parent is to follow it up, or, you know, even the adult. Depends how long they've had it for, if it's just a one-off. Like eczema, I don't know. They say that every person with asthma has eczema. There's obviously a correlation. You're always in and out of the doctors for something. It's like a breakdown in your immune system somewhere. Yeah. Okay. In relation to eczema, what would you most like to see from future care and support? This might be from patient organisations, charities, hospitals or clinics. I think some sort of support would be fantastic. Like, even if it's just a forum, like, to discuss, this is what I've tried, something like that, or even like a place that you can go to help. If it's not on the web, like, you can ring up and say, I've got issues, and then someone who can say, what have you tried? Okay, maybe you should try this stuff. maybe you should go and see this professional, try and get an appointment with this doctor. Like I'm sure there's better doctors out there that are better equipped